Welcome back to Seeds, where we talk about the basics of Christianity. You'll know the last couple of weeks, Summer and I talked about salvation, about the whole experience of salvation. And so for me, the next question is appropriately, so what now? What next? What happens after a salvific experience? Your friends, your family, they've been waiting, they've been praying about this. They get you up front to an altar. You do it in your bedroom. You're at the bed, you're kneeling down, you're praying. You're at your house, in the living room, wherever it is, somebody else's house. You have that salvific experience. Then what happens after that, Summer?
Well, it definitely depends on the scenario, because sometimes you're saved via discipleship with a friend, or sometimes it's on your own and it's not really led by another human in that direction. So it depends on the situation, but regardless of whether or not you are discipled and alongside someone else, you definitely need to get in your word and read it. And we've talked about how to pick out Bibles. So you need to develop a relationship with Jesus. We talked about that in the salvation videos, is that you have to grow the relationship, right? It's not just like the marriage ceremony and then you're done. It's a relationship you need to grow.
So that can differ, as you just said, in nature. So there are times where we've actually been discipled quite a bit before we have a salvific experience, before we actually acknowledge Jesus as our Lord. So we know a lot about Jesus. We know a lot about church. We know a lot about the things of church, right? But there are other times where people just out of the blue have a God moment, right? And they know nothing about where or who or what or the things of Jesus are all about. So how, as we're helping somebody in that moment, how do we ascertain where people are and what they might need?
Well, I mean, that's another relationship, right? And what we have with those people. And it's funny because, I mean, some people, watch something on TV and get saved through that. So it's like, and I've heard those people say sometimes, like, if you just got saved, if you're going through this right now, call someone and tell them you just gave your life to the Lord, right? And it's like, because we know that this is not like a one-man show. Mm-hmm. You need a relationship with other Christians as well. So you gotta find those friends if you don't have them already. But I think if we are on the other end of that, then hopefully we've been walking them through that up until this point.
Mm-hmm. So the key, what you're saying, is that we really need to be involved, right? Yeah. Intentionally involved in people's lives. That's why discipleship works best when it's done with people that know us. Right. But also when we're desiring to lead somebody to the Lord, right? Then probably we know about them. So it stands to reason that a lot of times the best people to begin discipleship, begin the what next thing, are the people who have been praying for, who have been asking that God work within somebody's life. Right. So one of the problems that we have a lot of times in church is that we believe that, like we get friends, but then we bring them to church and then the church saves them.
The pastor talks to them.
Exactly. And then it relieves us of any responsibility. Right. So what is our responsibility then? If we're the one that God has given a heart for somebody, mm-hmm. we bring them to the church. Let's say the pastor does his job and he preaches a great message and our friend comes up to know the Lord. Yep. Is that where our responsibility stops and ends, or does it continue from there?
No, and I think that's the biggest thing that hurts the church body, is that a lot of people are just so focused on getting people to say the prayer, and then they drop them and they move on, get another person to say the prayer and get another person, and maybe we even hand them a Bible and then we just move on. But that true discipleship and that true church body does life together. Like in the Bible, they did life together. They helped when someone was in need, they gave to them. They did life together, and that's love. And we should at minimum be showing them what that looks like through what we are doing, mm-hmm. right? So we have at minimum an obligation to love them and continue to stay close to them and lead them in that direction.
So there's lots of things that go into that we can unpack in future episodes of Seeds. But really, our responsibility, if I'm hearing you correctly, it really just begins right? The salvific experience is really the beginning of our responsibility in helping someone else along on their path to having a stable and long-lasting relationship with Jesus. Often people have a short-term relationship with Jesus because we're not doing that, right? We introduce them to Jesus. They want Jesus as a friend, but they have no idea what that means. So how do we, as we close out this episode, how do we get people to really begin that relationship with Jesus? Not just a meet and greet, oh, I love Jesus, I want him.
Yeah.
But how do we really start that out?
I mean, I definitely think there's more than just a short answer to that. But, like, I think we just need to practice that in our human relationships as well to show them. I mean, try to find somebody now who's got a 50, 60-year marriage. You don't see them anymore. Like, we don't even stick with people that long.
Right.
So it's like, but we want people to stick with Jesus forever. And we're not even showing that example in our lives. So I think it helps to live that way in all of your relationships. But then, yeah, to me, like when you do get saved and you accept Jesus in the beginning, it's like, all right, now we got work to do. And we know we never stop growing in that relationship. So to me, it's like you have to think of all those relationships the same, and we have to treat them all the same.
Excellent. Well, listen, we're super thankful you joined us for Seeds. Obviously, every conversation we have could go in a million different directions. So one of the cool things about doing the basics is that you can go here, there, and everywhere. And we want to do that for you. We want to help you. So again, we're inviting you. If you've got ideas, thoughts, questions, make sure you let us know so that we can cover that with you. But what we want to do is maybe next time on Seeds, that we really kind of hone in on this. Okay, what does it really mean to be in relationship? And maybe some more specifics on what that relationship looks like. So you could be thinking about that as you get ready for our next episode of Seeds. We'll see you back here soon.